Hey everyone, this is Dave A. Gardner.
And this is Eve Jones.
And you're listening to the heart of Juliet Jones fan fiction podcast.
This is part 9 of Finding Her Dream. That's my dream, dear listeners. The story is based on the vintage daily comic strip called The Heart of Juliet Jones. That's my sister. Written by Elliot Kaplan and illustrated by Stan Drake in 1961. I'm not only a main character in the story, I'm also the co-hostess with the mostess. I love saying that. Don't you love hearing me say that, Dave? I do have it, you know.
Yes, I know, and it's very mostess, I see from here.
Oh my goodness, Dave, you are such a flirt. You always know just what to say to make me blush at the start of every podcast. Well, I'll tell you, it took me 2 hours to prepare for today's podcast. What with all the makeup I had to put on. Then there's my hair. Don't even get me started on my hair. Then, you know, my nails manicure and pedicure style.
Eve?
Yes, my darling? I mean, my main host of this podcast. That's what I meant. Yeah.
You know that this is a podcast, and listeners can't see your appearance, right?
Well, duh. Of course I know that. I was doing it for my favorite romance author. Silly. He'd see me. At least I hope he would. But hey, Dave, speaking of seeing us, wouldn't it be so awesome to film a video of us doing the podcast? Lots of podcasters do that. And they put it on YouTube. They film it live as they are recording. We could totally do that. Yes!
Eve, that's just not going to work, what with you being a fictional character and all. But that would be fun, to see us both in the studio together.
You know it. We are so professional. I mean, you are. I'm not. I'm just a professional flirt. Also, the beautiful co-host.
Of course you are, my darling Eve. Now, why don't you give our dear listeners a nice recap about what happened in our last episode?
Yes, Dave, let's do it. So in our last episode, you, dear listeners, discovered that my heartthrob Glenn Sabine was greedy. Sorry, Dave. You know you'll always be my true heartthrob. I mean, your stories will. God, I am so in love with him. I mean, with them. I can never get this right. So, fanning myself again? Where was I? Oh, yes. Now, in hindsight, I'm telling the story after the event. But at that time, I had no idea that Hector of Hollywood was such a dirty rat. Yes, he was. I don't know, maybe he was working together with Glenn Sabine in some kind of game of control with that $200 they took from me for my pre-contest professional photos. I should have known there was something weird going on after I met that kooky T-top who kept laughing incessantly at every little thing I did. The man was totally high on himself. Then there was the weirdness of Heck, and he was just indescribably weird, the two-faced jerk. Anyway, no matter what happened back at the photography studio, I was still ready to make my mark as a Miss Teen USA contestant. I won't back down, and I won't give up. Guys, can I get real here for a minute? This has been my dream since I was a little girl. To stand up in front of a big audience in a place filled to capacity with cheering fans, all saying things like, "Go, Eve! We love you!" Then I would throw a rose out to them and shout, "I love you too!" And there would be tears in my eyes. I just want this so badly. Can't you relate, dear listeners? I bet you can. Let's listen in to part 9 and find out what happens next. Yes.
The lobby of the Hotel Star was nothing short of a mob scene that night. Guests were coming and going in droves, and the check-in counter was bearing the weight of a massive queue behind one front desk clerk who was holding down the fort with politeness and a smile. That was when Juliet and Eve returned to the hotel through the revolving glass door. Eve was still reeling from the run-in with Hector the photo guy, who charged an arm and a leg for a professional pre-pageant photo shoot. Glenn Sabine had conveniently disappeared for the time being. Then over by the elevator doors, Eve spotted another teenage girl with her mother. She looked tall, healthy, well put together, and smiling. Eve gasped. Those were the exact 4 characteristics of a Miss Teenager contestant. Let's say it again. Tall, healthy, well put together, and smiling.
Wow!
It couldn't be, but it must be. Grabbing the attention of her sister, Eve pointed out the girl who stood by her mother.
Julie, look! No, not over there. Julie, you're looking out the window at the traffic. I meant on the other side of the lobby. Would you look? There's a girl with all the earmarks of a Miss Teen contestant, just like me. I mean, she's pretty and she's smiling. We are exactly the same. In fact, if we looked in a mirror, we would totally have a hard time figuring out who was whom. Don't you think? Julie? Are you paying attention to me?
Julie had been in her own little world as well, probably still reeling from having lent her sister 200 smackaroons out of her own pocket.
I'm sorry, Eve. I was staring at that cab driver who mysteriously looked exactly like my ex-boyfriend Ched. But Ched couldn't be here because he took off to Portugal with that witch from the diner. You know, that waitress? What a bimbo. Anyway, he can do what he wants. So yeah, Eve, what did you say, another girl? What other girl?
Julie asked, glancing around. Eve beamed.
Oh yeah, I remember Ched. Ho ho, boy do I remember Ched. He was a total flirt with everyone. Including me, Julie. I don't think I ever told you that. But yeah, you guys were so destined to break up. Eventually, I mean. But no, check it out. It's got to be another Miss Teen contestant. It is, right? I am so excited. Julie, I'm gonna go over there and talk to her.
For the next few minutes, Eve and the girl found common ground in conversation. Her name was Paulina Ima Effin Sickles, or Paula, as she preferred to be called. They talked of their photo shoot, the gown they were planning to wear to the big event, the dashing Glen Sabine, and even the weirdness of Pike something. Neither one of them could remember his full name in that moment. Just off to the side, the girl's mother was practically shaking with apprehension for what her daughter had done. She murmured to Julie confidentially,
"Oh dear, I don't know how we ever got into this. Frankly, I'm terribly confused."
Julie glanced back at Eve and Paula, yapping and laughing like the cackling of hens on a farm. She shook her head.
Frankly, Mrs. Sickles, you took the words right out of my mouth. And I have a feeling we are not alone. Confusing is the word of the week. But you know what? I have a feeling I'm going to get to the bottom of it real soon.
And that ends another amazing podcast hosted by Dave A. Gardner and co-hosted by my sister Eve and me. Thanks for listening to the Heart of Juliet Jones fan fiction podcast. Now that Eve has met another Miss Teen contestant, it seems like there are really only one of two options here. One, the two of them are being duped by these connivers. Or two, it's actually a legitimate contest and I'm just overthinking things again. Somehow I doubt it, but let me tell you, dear listeners, I am going to get to the bottom of this. And you know what? I'm so glad you are along for the ride. What would I do without you? Speaking of not doing without something, do you like romance novels? My sister Eve loves them, especially stories by our host, Dave A. Gardner. Why not check out his website at authordaveagardner.com? I'm sure you'll find a romantic book boyfriend for your fancy. Or, you know, to tickle your fancy as it is. So until next time, dear listeners, as Dave always says, may love bloom in your heart like the lovely rose that you are. You know, because you are so beautiful from the inside out. Never forget that, dear listeners. Love you with scrumptious blueberry muffins. Bye-bye.